The North Carolina Tarheels. Mac Brown, year 2. Year 1, how'd he do? He did 6-6 in the regular season anyway, 4-4 in the ACC, finished 7-6 after a bowl win. In today's video, we're going to take a look at North Carolina's 2020 college football schedule. Is it harder or easier than their 2019 schedule? Let's find out now. Good morning, Nat. It's Uncle Lou here. Yeah, that's right. It's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live for you on LouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. And in addition to that as well, subscribe to this channel if you're not already. I post college football videos almost every single day of the year, and I happen to think that a lot of them are even watchable, which is a minor miracle. Up today, the North Carolina Tar Heels, a 2020 college football schedule preview. This isn't a prediction video. I'm not talking about rosters or who they lost, who's coming back, none of that kind of stuff. We're purely just comparing the schedule. Is the 2020 schedule harder or easier or about the same, whatever, than 2019? Let's go. All right, we'll take a brief look at the 2019 schedule. Come on in. Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll take a brief look at the 2019 schedule just for comparative purposes. So there it is. You can see, like I mentioned, 6-6 in the regular season. How did they get there? Well, they started off red hot, really, by surprising a couple of people with a win in a neutral site game against South Carolina and then a home win against Miami, beating the Hurricanes 28-25. So you beat Miami almost as bad as FIU and Louisiana Tech beat Miami.
Boom.
Almost as bad as Duke and Georgia Tech beat Miami.
Boom.
Almost as bad as literally anybody could be. I could beat Miami.
Boom.
Now, after that, God knows what happened here, but you lost your next 3 games in a row. You lost to Wake Forest, right? Yeah, that was one of these weird Friday night games. You lost 24-18. You then lost to App State, 34-31, and then you had the Clemson heartbreaking loss, really, which was strange. North Carolina had just had a weird season all the way around. You lost to Clemson 21-20. We all remember that one. Then you went on a run, a 1-game run, by beating Georgia Tech on the road 38-22. Then you had your bye week. You lost to Virginia Tech after that in a weird 6-overtime game, 43-41. Another win over Duke, 20-17. Then you lost 2 in a row to Virginia, bye week, and then you lost on the road at Pitt. You won your last 2 against Mercer and on the road at NC State. Very strange season for North Carolina. You start out 2-0. Those are 2 games a lot of people had you losing heading into the season. Then you lose 3 in a row, and then you win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, win at the end of the year. Just a weird sort of season. And I've heard a lot of North Carolina fans in the offseason telling me, all 6 of our losses, Lou, were by 7 points or less. We easily could have been 13-0. Keep telling yourself that. I guess you're just pretending that 3 of your wins weren't by 4 points or less. Hey, yeah, okay. You lost 6 games by 7 points or less. Great. 3 of your wins were by 4 points or less. So you say you could have been 13-0. I say
you could have been 3-9.
All right, that's going to do it for the 2019 schedule. All right, now we'll pull up the 2020 schedule. There you go. All right, 2020, here's what you're looking at. All right, you start things off on the road against Central Florida in a Friday night game. We see weird things happen in Friday night games. See last year's Wake Forest game as Exhibit A. You lost to them on the road on a Friday night. Now, this is week 1. I'm not sure the Friday night thing is as big of an issue week 1 as it is when it falls in the middle of a season, causing you to have a short week of practice and things like that. That won't be a case here. Central Florida's not a pushover. The down year last year, sort of. Is that an indication of things to come for them? Was it a bump of the road? Find out early this year in week 1. Then you got a big non-con matchup here, neutral site game in Atlanta against Auburn. This will be a tougher non-con game than anything you played last year, for sure. Tougher than South Carolina, tougher than App State, tougher than Mercer, tougher than Wake Forest. Wake Forest? How do you play a non-con game against another ACC team? I don't know what the ACC has going on here. North Carolina and Wake Forest, when they played last year, was considered a non-con game. For whatever reason, they're not able to get enough teams on the schedule to fill it out, so they're having to schedule each other, but classify it as a non-con game. What are you doing? So you lost to Wake Forest last year, but it didn't even count as an ACC loss? People don't understand it. What are you doing? There's like 500 college football teams. Schedule one. with a non-con. What are you doing playing each other in the non-con? This is silly as hell. Anyway, you play the barn, and then you get a home game against James Madison, a game you should win, and then a home game against Georgia Tech. Will they be better? Probably. Year 2 there with a new coaching staff. They're a ways away, in my opinion, from being anything meaningful or relevant, though. You go on the road, play Virginia. Pretty good team. They lose Bryce Perkins and a lot of pieces on offense, but they got a nasty defense. We'll see how you do on the road there. And then you get Virginia Tech at home. So Virginia Tech in back-to-back weeks, on the road, then at home. And then back-to-back road games against Duke and Miami, right? That takes you into your bye week. Come out of that, you get yourself 2 home games, a non-con game against UConn, and then a conference matchup against Pitt. You end things on the road at Boston College, and then home against NC State, another Friday game. That'll be Thanksgiving weekend, so that game will be played on Black Friday. Now, you're the home team in that one. So you should be the beneficiary in that game against NC State of them having to travel and play on a Friday on a short week. We'll see. So maybe that cancels out what's happening week 1 when you travel and play on the Friday, plus the week 1 game. A lot easier to travel on a Friday, week 1, than it is middle or into the season. So anyway, that's it. That's the schedule for 2020. So you compare to non-con. This year in your non-con, you got Central Florida, Auburn, James Madison, and UConn, right? The marquee name there is Auburn. Last year in your non-con, South Carolina, App State, Mercer, and yes, Wake Forest. 2020's non-con is clearly tougher. A marquee matchup, Auburn, a much better team than South Carolina. App State, was it App State? Yeah, App State was a pretty good team last year. UCF, a pretty good team too. Maybe you say that kind of cancels out, right? Your road games at Virginia, at Duke, at Miami, at Boston College, at Central Florida. Not easy. At Miami, how much better will they be? At Duke, who knows? At Boston College. Boston College is every ACC team not named Clemson, aren't they? They're a 6-win team. Maybe they win 8 games, but that's because they're playing a bunch of other ACC teams, but a bunch of 6-win teams in the ACC in terms of talent, right? Last year's road games, Pitt, NC State, Virginia Tech, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest. A wash there. These 2 schedules are pretty comparable, I think. The non-con with the Auburn game, maybe say it's a little bit tougher, but North Carolina should be a better team in 2020 than they were in 2019. You got your quarterback Sam Howell coming back. Dude's showing up on some preseason Heisman lists. I don't expect him to win it, but the point is he surprised a lot of people as a true freshman last year. He's got a year of experience under his belt now. You would think he'd play better, even better in 2020 than he did in 2019. North Carolina, I think a team heading in the right direction. The question is going to be, how long does Mac Brown want to stick around this time? He's getting up in age, right? He retired for a while before he took this job. Can he stay at North Carolina long enough to lead them somewhere? We'll see. Anyway, that's it for North Carolina for 2020. Let me know what you guys think about this schedule. What's the marquee matchup you're looking forward to? They got any chance against Auburn? Let me know. Can they win their division? Can they push Clemson? No. Have a good morning.